It is important to note that the most severe threats to human security, poverty, war, terrorism, environmental degradation, communicable diseases, and weapons of mass destruction are ever more interconnected. They are all threats without borders, making traditional notions of national security obsolete. By their nature, these threats require genuine multinational cooperation and effective international institutions. Inequity and insecurity, our two largest global challenges, are also interlinked. Poverty is often associated with lack of good governance. The lack of good governance is tied to an array of problems: corruption, repression, the lack of political freedom, denial of social justice, failure of the rule of law, and the absence of sustained economic opportunity or human development. These breakdowns combine to produce among people a loss of hope, a sense of injustice, marginalization, and radicalization, which then can fuel civil war and interstate wars. The great irony is that military power is proving ever less effective in the face of these interconnected global challenges. The American political scientist Joseph Nye coined the term soft power to describe the non-military attributes that make a country influential, powerful, and admired. A country has more soft power if its culture, values, and institutions incite admiration and respect in other parts of the world. When you can get others to admire your ideals and to do what you want, you do not have to spend as much on sticks and carrots to move them in your direction. Coupled with these cultural values should be the willingness to engage in dialogue. Dialogue, which is the most meaningful tool of conflict resolution, is too often perceived as a sign of weakness rather than a means to change behavior and reconcile differences. Dialogue and the export of soft power and instruments that are most effective when they are wielded collectively, with many countries working together through international institutions such as the United Nations and its agencies. More than 20 years after the end of the Cold War, there are still an estimated 19,000 nuclear warheads in existence. What sense does this make? Where are the envisioned security threats that could possibly justify the maintenance of these stockpiles? Under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the 5 main nuclear weapon states agreed toward the complete elimination of these weapons. But if we look at the situation today, 40 years after the entry into force of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, all of the 5 nuclear weapon states are modernizing their nuclear arsenals. As long as major powers insist that nuclear weapons are an indispensable cornerstone of their security, we cannot be surprised when other countries seek to acquire them.